Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Homer, and this is Your Turn to Die. This is my first ever playthrough of Your Turn to Die. We're continuing around this place now, kind of like navigating through people's memories. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing that for everyone, even for like the dummy characters as well, but we can see. Oh, this computer. So we can use the lantern on the dummy characters too, because they do have a consciousness, right? This computer turns on too, huh? Hi, Kasaki, you aren't with Gin? Yeah, he's a capable kid. Me being around is just... Oh, never mind that. Look at this. I found this power cord for this computer. If you use the ID card, you should be able to see what's on it. Sure? Insert the ID card. Something came up. The screen says recruitment list. Report. We've located 2 promising choices who meet Gashu's requirements. There's Gashu, who we haven't heard in a while. Gashu Sato. We haven't heard his name in a bit. Ever since the big moment of the last chapter, right? Wait, is that Safalin and Miley? Mishiru no way, Emerihara, what are you doing? No way, no, what's happening? Both are extremely capable of treating poorly at their current workplaces. No, no, I don't like the implications of this. Richard Namada is a die-hard researcher. Extraction should be simple if offered the ideal environment. Okay. Emery Harai is satisfied at present. Extracting will prove more difficult. The biggest reason the presence of the man she is considering marrying at her workplace. If we can't win her over, there's only one thing to do. Namely to drive her beloved What? This document. These students know about that Safalin and Miley. Yeah. What the hell just happened? What do you mean by extraction? Wait, we're just leaving it at that? Because that to me implies in my mind, right? And maybe I don't think I'm reading too much into it. If they became like the people, the floor masters, right? That means they were recruited from other jobs and then like, I don't know if it's made to work here. If they were, because again, we know that like, there's an implication that Miley isn't a dummy, right? Because remember when she was hit with the frying pan, she like bled on her forehead? So the implication is that she's not a dummy. Like if you look at Ranger didn't bleed, right? So I wonder like what happened there with the recruitment process for those guys. Like was it manipulation? They talk about driving their beloved mad. It's really, really creepy, man. Is that what we're gonna go on? This computers do too. Like, I guess we use the lantern as well. What the hell? That's so creepy as well. Because obviously, like, it's one of those things where this company, like, is evil in a way that's beyond words, right? And it looks like from every corner, from recruitment of, like, people for the game to people who are working here, everything is just downright evil completely. Please look at this lantern. Can we do it later? There's a lot I want to check on. Understood. Okay, so maybe not everybody's going to have the lantern stuff. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's a dubious consent form on the blackboard, so if I would sign this, and then anyone at the elevator? I see. Seems to be careful looking over the elevator. I guess we can talk to them first. Notice anything, Inako? You know, Senpai, you think the breaker was shut off, like someone shut off intentionally? The breaker of the elevator on floor 4. You mean Maple? Did Maple... Can't imagine a lady would be capable of that kind of judgment on a rampage. Maybe Maya Kotaro? 30 not kg. I don't know who did it or why. Watch your back there, Senpai. Honestly, kind of scary. But it's either one of two things. If she's saying if Keiji did it, that means there's a situation here where... No, okay, we can apply the same thing to Keiji that we applied to Kotaro and Mai. My estimation, if Kotaro and Mai did that, that means they're stopping us from even getting back down there. Because they don't want us to be in danger. If Keiji did it, then there's the implication that he did it because, like, you know, she's saying watch your back. Oh, he did it because he's, like, you know, one of the people who's, like, against us, right? Or you could apply the same thing for him with Kotaro and Mai. Maybe he didn't want us to be in danger or something. You know, you never know. Let's talk about the lantern then with, you know, Hinako. What the hell happened there? What happened there? I I have no idea what happened there. I thought the game was like doing something weird. Everything's recording fine. I have no idea what happened there. That's so weird. Seems to be carefully looking over the area. Let's use the lantern. Yeah, I have no idea what that was. Cause I went to check, like, see if like everything is like plugged in right and everything's, you know, the capture card's correct and everything. It's all there. Take us to the lantern, Taco. Well, I don't have that kind of time, so we're not gonna be doing with the dummies. It seems. Reiko maybe as well. We can talk more. Reiko's past. Sarah, hey. She's surveying the room with a serious look. Let's talk to her first, of course. Have you found anything, Reiko? Nah, nothing. I'm kind of curious about this room. Curious? There's a transceiver and a voice recorder here, right? Yes. I'll tell you if I figure it out. Just hold on until then, Sarah. Sure thing. Whatever you need. Whatever you need. So she said there's a transceiver and a voice recorder. She's figuring something out here as well. Can we talk about your lost memories? Sarah, you mean... We have to remember them so we can stand against Midori. Yeah, I guess you're right. Gotta say, it's scary. Like, maybe I did something irredeemable in the past. That's, like, probably, like, very scary, too, right? I never thought of that implications that, like, you know, you'd be blocking out your memories, worried about, like, what you did, something you might have done bad as well, you know, that maybe, like, it's, you think in your mind, maybe it's a good thing I don't remember everything, you know? It's an interesting perspective. But damn it, I want to know. I want to clear this fog clouding my mind. I'll assist you. You'll work with me, right? Of course, do your thing, Sarah. The memory that's tripped me up, it's gotta be at the cafe the photo was taken. It's a beautiful cafe, Jesus. I swear I only went at a place with a bandmate. What the hell could have happened? I want to go back and remember it clearly. Well then let's give it a try. So we have to look at all the implications here of like what was different, of course. Reiko was actually very upset, it seems. Is that Midori with his like little tail? Yeah, okay, so let's go with those things first. Obviously, the most important way is the guitar there? Oh, the guitar is not this. So it's not a bandmate. So we have 3 things already we can check out. Reiko's behavior. How about this? So she seems pretty chill in this version, but there she's like, look, she's devastated. I wonder if something to do with like, you know, pleading with her brother's innocence. Could you remember yourself a little more? Myself? Actually, I don't think I was feeling all that good about meeting him. In fact, I was crying listening to him. Maybe hopeful, maybe hopeless. It was something I didn't want to believe. That's right, I feel like I was clinging to him. What a goddamn miserable feeling. Why'd I forget something like this? True, it's hard to imagine Reiko doing something like that. I mean, Reiko is always like someone who like is very hopeful. She's very supportive. But like, you know, in these moments it showcases like, you know, even like Reiko can be obviously like devastated in these times as well. You know, it's clearly like a traumatic and horrible experience, you know what I mean, when it comes to like, you know, what happened with Alice. This guy looks like a band member. How about this? It's definitely Hiyori again. Could you remember this part a little more? Yeah, I think. I met with a member to talk about the band. That can't be it. No, it wasn't a bandmate I was with. I was meeting with Midori. Oh my god, when they remember this moment, it's such like a big strike to your heart, right? Or to your heart, right? It's like, oh my god, this whole time, this memory has changed. I didn't even have my memories fully to begin with, but now this memory I have was like so wrong. It implies how much memories are manipulated, how invasive like Midori, Hiyori's involvement in their lives was. It's like such an instant, like, oh my god, you know? What the hell, how did I forget something like that? What did you and Midori even discuss? Shit, what was it? What the hell was I talking to him about? No, wait, there's nothing else it could be. Alex, right? Alice, you were talking about his murder case. Damn it, but I can't remember our conversation. Please calm down. Let's just take it slow. Yeah, you're right, Sarah. Yeah, man. Pretty, like, yeah, just freaking devastating. It's like, because I don't know how they handle this. I don't know how right now Reiko's handling this. But I guess it's one of those situations where, like, that's the whole point. They're forcing themselves to deal with this as much as possible because they feel like they have to at this stage. Yeah, but oh my god, like, and just in real world stuff. Take your own memories, right? Like, think of a memory. It's like, oh, I remember I used to go to the beach with my dad, and all of a sudden you're like, I go to the beach with like a murderer. Like, instantly, it's like, what the hell is wrong with my brain? This guitar case on the ground. How about this? Could you remember this part a little more? Yeah, just give me a sec. Wait, that ain't a guitar case. It was a big suitcase. We weren't talking about music, because what came out of the briefcase wasn't an instrument at all. Seeing what was inside made my tears well up. I remember feeling like total shit. Reiko. Sorry, I'm remembering it in bits and pieces. Work with me a little longer, Sarah. Right. It's okay. It's totally okay. Is it this that came out of the thing? Is it different on the table? Because this looks like musical notes. That just looks like text. Right? The sheet music spread out on the table. How about this? Could you remember this part a little more? I play instruments, I play music, but I don't use like sheet music. I use tablature. So like, I guess like from a mile you can still notice like tablature and sheet music. They're very similar. But yeah, I use tabs. All right, I'll try. Last night it wasn't sheet music. There were articles about Alice's case, and it wasn't me who brought him out either. It was him, the guy I met with. He brought me them to show me. Huh? Seeing those articles talk like it was funny. It made my damn blood boil, so people were like making jokes about it. And I got so upset I started crying. Of course, Jesus Christ, it's about your brother. You know? And especially like you know, you felt at the time like he was very innocent. Because Alice was being derided. Yeah. Whether it was me wanting to stick up for him or if I was pissed on Alice's behalf, I don't know. Damn it! So was this connected to Alice's incident? So what's so funny about that as well is like that's why like a lot of people don't like newspapers in a lot of ways. There are some like reputable newspapers, but there's plenty of times with newspapers and newspaper articles where you can tell they were salivating to write a story, right? The death of someone like what happened like here with the perceived death of like Alice killing. There's a security camera here, by the way, but not over here. Of Alice killing Hiyori. That to me is like it's like obviously going to be like a very traumatic experience for the people who like, you know, were involved, like his sister, his family, and all this stuff too. But like to these newspapers, sometimes you see it in real life, they are salivating. They love it. Oh my god, what else did he do? Write down the details. Make sure everyone knows the details, and then you'll find a story like literally like in Now magazine 10 years from now where it's like how I survived my, you know, I just think like if you're one of those people who survived a crazy incident and you want to sell your story to make money, go. Jesus Christ, man, that's your prerogative. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's very clear that like from those type of newspapers and like the actual tabloids and other newspapers like as well, they salivate at the idea of like murder and death and all these things in between because it means they sell more copies. They get more clicks on an article. It's a pretty horrific thing, right? And then seeing this as a family member, like seeing how people are not taking it seriously, how they're like insulting your brother even though you know he's a good person. Like, of course, it'd be absolutely devastating. But yeah, I want to make it clear, those magazines that go like my terrible story about my husband, when they sell their story about their husband or something like that, or to sell their story to a newspaper about like something that happened to them in their past that was devastating and traumatic. That's like not my prerogative, and that's not my problem whatsoever. I hope that makes sense because you deserve to like make whatever money you want off whatever happened to you. You know, that's your choice. You go ahead. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm saying that. I'm just saying that the newspaper angle is like they salivate at that stuff. The wall of this building, let's point out, yeah, it's the lack of a camera. Could you remember this part a little more? Sure. Oh yeah, actually that wall. You might have had a security camera on it. Well, there wasn't one when I went before. Once that incident with Alice happened, so they were documenting it then and there with like a camera too. Just like the hidden camera in Gin's infirmary. The murder case. Which means they installed a security camera because of the incident. And the whole conversation between these two was being recorded? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, Gin had a potential hidden camera too, right? So we have... Any other differences here? The book is the same. This person's the same. Sometimes it's something so small, right? You don't even realize it. Wait, where's the permission slip? Where's the permit? That's what we have to look for usually, right? Is the permission slip. Oh. No, I don't think that's different. We have to look for what's different, right? Is there a permission slip around here? Because usually that's like the main change, right? Which is like, oh my god, where's the permission slip gone? You know what I mean? I was thinking maybe this on the wall here, but we'd see the permission slip, right? I don't think they'd hide it from us. Unless it's in their hand. We can click on that because that's the closest thing to a paper on the wall. We can click on that, but then that's still there as well, so... Maybe it's not a permission slip we're looking for? It might just be a thing where I just click on everything, but... Oh, is there something on their table that's not there anymore? There is. No, there is. Oh, no, the coffee's there. 2 coffees. A book. Midori. I guess we can click on as much as possible. Like, who cares? You know, it's not gonna hurt us. Could you remember this part a little more? Sorry, I don't think I remember anything else. Probably just decorative grass, that's the thing, yeah. But in the place packed with buildings, having plants sure helps the atmosphere. I mean, it's actually a really nice cafe. It's actually a really nice cafe. Yeah. You gotta go someplace with good style if you want to polish your own style. Oh, that's a nice way of putting it. I'll keep that in mind. That's the spirit. Even now she's being so supportive of us. Is that a difference as well? The fact that like it's something small, but like there's more vines here in this image than there is over there. Like, is that something? Could you remember this part a little more? That's a tough one. I'm on it. I think this wasn't quite it. That's it. The vines here got shortened. If I remember right, they changed it to get rid of the blind spots where people couldn't see. Okay. I wonder why. It feels like it changed the mood. It could be effective for preventing crime, I guess? Maybe. There was an incident after all. Were they long at the time of Alice's incident? So, what, do you think they changed it so they could see better, I guess? Oh, the sky! Yeah, the sky's like gray in the other image. The weather outside looks like it was like overcast at the very least. Could you remember this part a little more? The weather, huh? Wonder if that's something. Come to think of it, yeah, that ain't it. The weather that day was real awful. I think I said something like, whether it rains or snow, meet with me. Wonder why. No, it's weird for me to say, but I ain't wanting to show the kind of concern for a man. Hell yeah. Must have been pretty important. Shit, what the hell happened? That's alright, let's take it one step at a time. Right, counting on you, Sarah. Oh, here we go. Okay, great. So the permission slip, I'm guessing, was probably a legal document or something like that, is what I'm assuming. I got it now. I remember everything. My real memory went like this. I wasn't trying to meet with a bad memory at all. It was a guy I happened to know in town. Midori. He contacted me saying I know the truth about Alice's case. I was so torn up then, body and soul, and I went ahead and met him. Hell do you mean false charges? That's the image we saw before, right? Alice didn't kill him. Not so loud. It was an accident. It's true. Then why won't they quit him? Who knows? Do you think it's strange how they are reporting? It's strange how they aren't reporting any info on the victim. Oh my God! Look at Alice, the poor gal. The world is convinced a drug addict band member committed murder and insults your family name. There's a powerful force trying to bring ruin to your family. You gotta be shitting me. What the hell we do? This is so devastating to, like, you know, witness. So are they saying as well that them not reporting anything on the victim says there might not be any victim? Because like he's standing right there, right? So is there a victim? Because then at that stage, like if Soyori is standing right there in front of Reiko, then there's possibly they had no body, just something that they were like was like again false charges. The fact that not reporting on the victim, the fact that they're like casting it off as just a drug addict band member, which by the way is another tactic as well to enforce your ruling on something. It's the same thing manipulative people do in everyday life. Have you ever known someone who's like a really manipulative person who will be like, oh, I was, when they're like rude to someone, they go like, oh, well, they're getting paid enough anyway, or like, oh, this person did this, or oh, the reason why this person did that, don't worry about them, they're just this, right? And it feels like that when it comes to like that stuff too, especially with like news stories and reports and police reports, the idea of being like, well, why should you care? They were on drugs. And again, you might be like, that's horrible, because the majority of us probably would be like, that's horrible. Like, that doesn't mean that we can just like, not investigate this or look into this. But I say the majority of us would, but like, I think the majority of people, the reason why it works is because a lot of people will just scroll past or be like, man, it sucks. That dude's, I hope I don't ever meet that dude, or lock him up and throw away the key. I think that's what actually the majority of people would do. And while I like to think that the majority of us would be like, no, let's question this. We would. I generally think that a lot of people, like, just judging by your comments, a lot of us would be like, wait a second, why aren't they reporting anything on the victim? What is this? Like questioning in some ways. But again, the reason why those type of things work in reports, and especially with news reports and news sites, is that it works. It works. It's like literally the thing where like, people scroll by and they go, local man does this. Oh, and he was taking stuff. That makes sense. That explains it. And they move on with their day. They don't question it. It's a way to kind of like, push everything to the side and put the blame solely on the one person who they perceive to be doing something very, very wrong, right? Don't cry, Miss Reiko. Our organization can help you out. That's so bad. It's so manipulative. Oh my god. He took advantage of so many things. How? You'll need to prepare yourself. I want you to sign your name on this paper. Consent form. Yasunara vow. It can grant you one wish. Anything you desire. The hell are you? Sorry, I guess you wouldn't believe me, would you? I'll just call the whole thing off. Oh my god, it's so... Oh, he's so manipulative. Wait. Release Alice, I want to meet him and ask him about everything. At this rate, I'm just going to resent him. Alright, Miss Reiko, wipe your tears. I'm your only... Oh my god, it's taking everyone in a vulnerable position and trying to, like, play on their worst fears or their anxieties or something about them that they love. It's... Okay, it's so bad. Thank you. Like, thanking Midori. I signed it, the consent form. That's what it was. Yeah, I was thinking like it was some sort of like legal document in some way. And even goddamn thanked him. This is Reiko's erased memory. What kind of reunion? I never wanted to be like this. Oh, Reiko. Losing all my precious memories, the hell was I supposed to say? All I could do was support Reiko as she feebly stood there. Sorry, sir. Don't say sorry. Do not say sorry. I got emotion. It's totally okay. It's totally normal. Because again, what Reiko's feeling right now is a bunch. First of all, probably feeling very icky. The idea of like, when I say icky, by the way, I really mean it like, when you feel wrong, it feels disgusting. The fact that you thank the person who's been doing all this stuff all this time. You signed the consent form at that time too. All those things in between, right? For sure. Like, but it's also the fact as well, I know for a fact she's thinking about Alice. Where she wanted to talk to him, she wanted to meet up and talk with him and all this stuff too, but since her memories were erased, she didn't remember the aspect of her wanting to talk to Alice, or the false charges angle, right? Because in her mind, it was probably safer just to believe he did it just so she could move on. He could move on, or in her mind, she didn't have the full capacity to fully understand, like at one point she did believe there were false charges. So when she met up with Alice in here, it was a distance. She kept herself distant from him, and she's probably thinking about that right now too, for sure. Man, Alice, man, she's such an interesting character, but like I always feel so sad that she feels like she has to be like extra strong all the time. She's surveying the room with. I think unless we can talk again. Reiko? Sorry, I still ain't got an answer. I wonder what's wrong. It's so bad. It's so bad because again, it's just we have this character who is like one of the kindest and most supportive, most beautiful characters, and that's why it's even more painful when we have to watch her go through stuff. Because she's there for all of us in the time. Like she's if you go back in all those parts, she's like there so many times when people need something. She's there so many times. She was there for Kana. She would not leave her side the first time around, and now as well. And now that we're in a position where we know she's not doing too well, she's not even letting us help her out because she feels like maybe there's a form that's right now, especially when she's trying to, like, you know, figure out what's happening here. She probably feels like that's a weakness when it's totally not. It's definitely not a weakness in any way, shape, or form. So it's obviously very sad for us that we can't do anything. Anzu, you okay? Are you okay? Well, I asked you first. She's checking up Kurumada. Let's talk to her. How is he, Anzu? He kind of seems to be getting better bit by bit. He keeps asking, do you want to charge, though? So Kurumada can be kind to his fellow dummies. I think it's one of those things where, like, it was a breakthrough moment when all the dummies attached the charging cables to him. But passing around the same charger feels a little embarrassing. You're the same as ever, Anzu. In a good way, right? Right, Sarah? Of course. Of course. Don't worry about it whatsoever. You're a sweetheart amongst sweethearts. The biggest sweetheart in the world who won the biggest sweetheart in the world competition would meet Anzu and give up the title, honestly. Hell, ain't the time to worry about me, is it? Seems he's talking more. How are you feeling? Not too terrible. Seems he's charging up well. You okay? Shaking up a Kurumada. Let's use the lantern. Look at this lantern for me, Anzu. No, I'm not. I'm like not good with that stuff. What? That's a reason? I mean, I think it's just we're not gonna be able to check the dummies, which is fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, I'm just glad they're doing better, right? I'm glad they're doing okay. There's our guy, Ranmaru. Let's talk. Sarah, did you find anything to activate, way to activate the elevator? No, how about you? I'm looking for a kind of switch, but nope. But this broadcast equipment seems to work. Should we ask Maple? Oh, yeah, I was like, yeah, we asked Maple right now. I'm terrified because, again, that's what's so good about this game too. The anxiety that's washing over me right now, as well as like thinking what could be happening down below us, you know, and we can't even hear anything right now. Could be bad if you accidentally agitate her. I guess so. I'm gonna look at these machines some more. Come here if you need me, Sarah. Can we... Oh, dummy control system? And so the switch here, what should I do? I don't think he's gonna let us use the lantern. Searching enthusiastically, eh, Ranmaru? Yeah, sure. That was a weak response. I like Ranmaru a lot, though. What a great character design as well. Wait, so when we click on his back, he gets a dummy control system, but if we click on his head, it's different, I guess? So I'm wondering if we actually can... Look at this lantern for me. Hey, I'm busy. Try it on the others. Dang, so blunt. He's busy. We've been everywhere, right? Yeah, we've been everywhere. Is there something we're missing? I wonder. Maybe there's stuff we can't see unless we use the lantern. Should we try that? Huh. I mean, it couldn't hurt to try. It's not gonna hurt us to try. Okay. Try the lockers, I guess. Oh, there was another door in here, right? Or was that just something we couldn't open yet? This one here. Oh. So we got to the classroom from there. That's an interesting connection though, right? Oh, it says up. Some text got revealed. It says, watch out above. Careful when you're alone. I don't really see it. What do you mean? That's so scary. Oh my god, my heart. A hand fell down. Who's this? It's a doll hand? Looks like a note fell with it. It reads an upgrade part. Gift steam spray. Wait, so we can give this a steam spray hand? So we can give it to Ranmaru? Upgrade part. Don't tell me this can be attached. An upgrade part steam spray hand. So should we go around to every room and see if we can find more upgrade stuff? Is that where we came from, by the way? That's so interesting. And quite scary. That's very interesting. So if we keep this lantern on and we just go to different rooms and see if there's anything we can see, right? Nothing here, so let's try the elevator room. Man, that was terrifying. I just seen a hand dropped out from the sky. Be careful when you're alone is also very scary. It's very, very scary. We just came from here. Wait, the text changes on the thing, does it? The painted over part is glowing. Try wiping it off. The paint won't come off by wiping or rubbing it. No good. I could read this if only there was some way to remove it. So we need to find a way to remove that like glowing paint. So let's try the library. Nothing here. Okay, and then the last place will be the police station, right? Or the police box. Whoa! And then Gin turns his head around. Is that actually what happened? That's so interesting. Okay. The lantern's lights revealing the interior. You can even see the posters and such. Wanted, Shinobu Gojoju, Hades incident refugee. Let us know if you have a finger on his whereabouts. Hades incident? Like hell? Gin, what's wrong? Do you know what that is? Hades incident? That was a murder spree between Yakuza a long time ago, and you know about this? How do you know about this? Why do you know that, Gin? I don't know, I just suddenly remembered. Is it because of the lantern? Someone told me. First who survived that incident took control of the underworld. Whoa. Good job remembering. Did we hear something about this already in the game? We did. It was Keiji talked about the idea of the Yakuza battles, right? And whoever won became like the leader of the Yakuza. If I remember correctly, he talked about it to us in the first chapter, I believe, because when we were asking him, was there anything else like this or something? He said, yeah, there was something like this when it came to like the underworld or the Yakuza or whatever. So I want, yeah, okay, great. Education these days, is crazy. Good job, remember. Maybe that's some of your lost memories too. Big Sis Sarah? Still wanted, huh? That means Anasaru is looking for this person. If you have a finger on the criminal, Oh? The finger part is bulging out a little. Inspect. When I touched the text, there was a clicking sound. Something fell out. Obtained a finger. It's a Yakuza pinky. Oh my god, because a Yakuza pinky to leave the Yakuza, that's you, or even like, it's not even just to leave the Yakuza. It can be if you want to leave the Yakuza, chopping off your pinky finger can be a gesture of like, I'm serious and I'm showing you that I'm not going to do anything wrong when I leave this place. I'm not going to go against you because I understand the weight of what's going to happen. It can also be something if you do a transgression against your family that is so severe that you have to chop off your finger to show that you are willing to like make. It's a way of making amends and understanding that what you did was wrong, so that they can like quote unquote trust you in the future. Like say if you do like the example you could give is like say if you took. Well, no, actually, that would actually be, I think that would just get you, like, excommunicated, taking extra cash off the top. But I'm talking about, if you do something that is, like, not so detrimental, but it's detrimental in a way that could harm someone down the line in the Yakuza, they will kind of, like, be like, okay, give me your finger if you want to keep doing this. It's a very big Yakuza thing. Could this be a clue to something? Yeah, man, so that's something Keiji mentioned as well, where it was, like, that thing where it was, like, something about the underworld, the Yakuza, right? Yeah. Is there anything else? Also, it's the same thing over and over again. Okay, it's the same thing over and over again. Okay, so should we try and give this hand to our buddy here? By the way, getting knowing about the Yakuza thing, not crazy for a kid to know about this stuff, especially since, like, I think, like, you know, when you were a kid, like, at least for me personally, like, you know, if you stay up past like 1 a.m., you will see like, you know, not like evil, horrible because it's TV, but like you will see like movies that are like very kind of like more scary or like more like less geared towards kids, right? Because that was what, like, again, if you guys remember, like, when TV was like huge. Because when I was a wee baby, TV was obviously like still TV still makes money, by the way. I want to make that clear. But I'm talking about, like, when you would like stay up all night and just like random TV shows would play. You'd find the most random like TV shows and like documentaries and stuff like that too. Also, like, a lot of kids do like talk on like the playground. They might be like, "Did you hear about the Hades incident?" That happens. It does happen. Like, it definitely does. Yeah. Can I like click on this and be like, "Hey, do you want this?" Or do we have to click onto here? Talk about upgrade parts. What, you found that? It's a very strange feeling to know that you're about to get an upgrade part. I'm guessing any of the dummies will be able to swap their hand out for this. Alright, fine, pass it to me. You sure? Well, you came specifically to show me, right? Looks, natural on me. Doesn't feel out of place at all. Can you still feel it? Are still able to feel it? I can't, jeez. You don't gotta touch it. It said steam spray hand, so I'm sure it can do something along those lines. Steam spray? You'd probably need moisture for that, Moisture. Alright, I'll come with. Let's find a way to use this. Okay, great. Okay. And maybe this too. A finger? I found it in the police box. Might be another part you can use. Hand over the finger as well. You're not just foisting junk on me, right? I guess I don't hope not anyway. Yeah, I love Sarah and Ranmaru's relationship already is something that's really, really special to me. I think it's just so great having like two characters that like kind of like understand each other amongst like, I feel like they're the closest out of the group of the dummies and the quote unquote regular people. Even though I kind of see everyone as like a regular person now. Like, it's hard for me to even like separate the idea of like dummies from humans now, just because of how much like I do already instantly like care about these new characters. Should we just go around in a circle or something? Like, well, oh wait. I think I know. Moisture, steam. Maybe we can steam this off. Paint overpower is glowing. Try wiping it off. Oh, maybe we need moisture first, though. We need moisture. Okay, so we need to find water. So is there water in the cooler? There is no cooler. Why did I think there was a cooler in the office? Why did I think there's a cooler in the office? I don't know why that thought came into my head. Is there a cooler in here? Let's try... Let's see. So, I'm guessing the best bet would be... Maybe there's something in here that we can get moisture from? There it is. Give Ron more water. Okay. It also uses a drink machine, though consumes a charge from the battery. Ranmaru, drink some water. Wait, what? What's this about now? I mean, if we use this, it'll use up a battery for the charger. Fine by me. You got an idea, don't you? Kurumada. Well, I'll have a ginger ale. Okay. Only sweet drinks for you, eh? I think it's really sweet, though, that instead of being like, hey, I'll have a water, he's like, I'll have a ginger ale. It shows, like, a personality, right? It shows, like, again, these are, like, as far as we're concerned, like, real consciousness, right? Ranmaru downed a ginger ale. Damn, more acidic than I expected. So what now? Maybe we can use the steam spray. Got it. Let's try it out. But it's not like we should just casually use it. If it's if a good use comes along, we'll try it then. I know exactly what we have to use it for. We're gonna steam off that thing. We have to. Yeah, I love again, just so simple. Can I have a ginger ale? Like, in the writing for this, nothing's done by accident in this game, really, right? Nothing is done by accident. Even something as simple as like, can I have a ginger ale shows like, a very, it's more of an intricate personality. They could have just been like, yeah, drink some water and that's it, right? But no, it's like him asking for ginger ale shows that he has like a preference, and that shows that he has a consciousness and something he liked in life. He preferred ginger ale to water. It's so simple. And I talk about that all the time, how like I do believe that like how someone likes their eggs in the morning can be just as much of an indication of who they are as a person sometimes, you know what I mean? If you're eating like a boiled egg, it means that you got up earlier to have like No, that's probably a bad example. If you're eating like a fried egg, that means like you like to maybe have like a more of a quick breakfast. If you make like an omelet, maybe you want to like have a bit more time to make it like a nice omelet. Even though omelets don't take that long, you know what I mean? Little things like that. I know that's a bad example sometimes. People always go like, well, Calvin, the breakfast thing, that doesn't really indicate too much. I'm saying it's kind of like an example of like what you can indicate. It's more of like a thing like, I can tell a person's personality in a game from, like if you give them $20 and say, hey, spend this however you want, and you see how they spend it, that type of thing. It's like, yes, the backstory is important. Yes, their personality and the stuff they've gone through is important. But also I love finding out like who a character is through like, how would they respond to if their crush said they like them? You can find out so much from a character just from that moment. So it's not literal breakfast. It's more just like an indication of everyday life things can show you how a personality's character is. Asking Ranmaru if he wants a drink. He doesn't ask what for water, he asks for ginger ale. It shows that he is human. It shows he has a preference. It shows it's something he's like. And now we have an indication of like, yeah, like of course, they are real living consciences. Of course. I love it. The consent form. And he likes sweeter stuff, right? He likes a sweeter drink. Which is also very sweet too. A little tiny tidbit into Ranmaru. Is there any way to know what that Pandora part says? There is. Let's assign this, so we have to do the lantern and then do it because it shows like a glow in the dark, I guess, thing as well. The Pandora part is glowing. Try the steam spray. Ranmaru, the steam spray. The way she said that was like a Pokemon. Steam spray. I agree to devote myself to Anasara for granting my wish. Wait though, but were all the wishes granted? And yeah, our wish would have been to save Keiji. But was Alice set free? Was Gin's wish was like for his mother to be like happy, right? But if she was already happy with Gin, then that wish was already fulfilled, right? But how could you say that's crazy? Because how could you say like, Kana's wish was fulfilled? That means he was still trying to get us to sign this. That means we never signed a consent. We never signed a consent form, of course. I agree to devote myself to Anasara for granting my wish. What's this mean? Devote myself to Anasara? It means exactly that. I would say like there's something that to do with this game that if you sign this and they grant your wish, you have to join Anasara or work for Anasara. It means exactly that. Giving yourself up to Anasara. I keep saying Anasara. It's Asanaro, isn't it? You could take it to mean I won't complain if you play one with life in the death game. I mean, that's actually a really good way of looking at it too. In exchange just for a single wish? It ain't possible. No way we signed something like that. This invitation to a death game. So, wait, so granting the wish is what got them into the death game is what they're thinking. So making Gin, because Gin's wish was like so his mother would be happy, right? So if they were able to make that happen, but then does that mean Kugi also signed a consent form? But we didn't sign a consent form because they're still trying to make us sign a consent form. Then what about me? Yeah, because we never signed one. Okay, we're obviously gonna find out more about this as time goes on, of course. So like maybe right now thinking about it might just hurt us too much, hurt our brains too much. Midori pressured me to sign, yeah, which to me screams we didn't sign it. Saying mine would be the last one. Then why am I here? That's the question. It's like if everyone else and that means Kugi signed something too, right? That means Kugi must have signed something. Everyone must have signed something. Everyone must have signed a consent form, which makes sense as we saw back in the memories. Someone signed a consent form, but it seems as well like the thing too. Like it's not about like a legal binding document because you can trick people into signing this, right? You can. Now it's when I say trickery, the way that he did the trickery was like kind of like you subscribe to the motto of Asanaru, right? Where it's kind of like he in a way he is tricking them 100%. It's manipulation, but he's also kind of being like, he's not saying like you're signing this random legal document or whatever like this too. He's proclaiming to them like, hey, you're gonna follow the motto of Asanaru, right? But that means something totally different. So it's like total manipulation. It's a total lie to get them to sign this as well. And it's under duress too, which again, not that they care. In court, contracts signed under duress do not hold up. At least I believe they don't. If you can prove it, by the way. If you can prove it. What would happen if I wished to put an end to... Whoa, but then we'd have to devote ourselves to Asanaru. That's an interesting wish, right? I wonder if there's rules to prevent that. Would it all end at the cost of my life? Don't think any stupid ideas. There'd be no point. I wouldn't want that. Oh, Ranmaru, thank you so much. Ranmaru's already gotten attached to Sarah as well. It's just an idea, really. But if that were possible, I felt like a cold wind blew through a crack in my heart. I've come all this way constantly thinking that I wanted to live, that I didn't want to die. And yet the opposite feeling tugs at my heart. If I died, it'd be easier. Don't say this. Do not say this. If I died, everyone could be saved. Please. No, and again, it's one of those things where, like, again, you're like... I do love in the game's writing that they never show these characters being, like, this totally powerful, strong characters, no matter how much they've, like, reaffirmed themselves. They will have moments, right? Even though now I totally believe Sarah's going to come through this. They will have moments where they're kind of like, you know, not giving up, but it feels like they are, like, kind of falling into more of, like, a kind of a more despair-filled feeling, right? We saw Sarah in the library at that time, you know, when she had the collar around her. Of course, this game doesn't just have, like, characters be, like, you know... Because it's more realistic to have characters have these reaffirming moments but still be affected by the things around them. Instead of having characters just be like, you know, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, they never again let anything get to them. You know? That doesn't make any sense. Things will get to you. Even if you've reaffirmed yourself and you're going to be brave on something, things change, right? You know, she's faced with this idea here that she could end her own life, maybe, possibly, to save everybody else. And even if, like, again, we wouldn't want that to happen, and Ranmaru doesn't want that to happen, Sarah deep down doesn't want that to happen either. There's this thing where, like, it's going to go through your mind, you know? It's going to go through your mind. No, I can't feel this way. It's no different from giving in. Exactly. Let's go, Ranmaru. I have to get away from this place. And that's so interesting to me as well, like getting away from this place, getting away from this location. Again, they're not all in a perfect place, you know? Yes, we've come a long way, but still, we're struggling. We're struggling to get through this, as you would be, you know? And by the way, I want to make it clear, like, I play JRPGs all the time, so there are moments where, like, characters will be like, we're never going to back down! But that's usually, like, it's a thing where, like, it's, like, the end of the game, right? It's right at the end of the game where it's like, we're done listening to you, I'm not going to be afraid anymore! And it's, like, it's really reaffirming, like, oh my god, yes! But I do like in this game, they will have characters be like, no more. But then they still succumb to some stuff, like that moment there, even for a little bit. It's very realistic. Yeah, it's very realistic. But yeah, I like JRPGs when they do it at the end of the games as well. So, like, you know, Asanaru. Why do you keep saying Anasaru? I don't know what's wrong with me, or what's right with me. Maybe I'm right and everyone else is wrong. You know, possibly. Oh, yeah, he seemed to be very affected by what Sarah was saying. What is it? Hurry. Ranmaru? I don't want you to die. Oh, Ranmaru. That's so nice. Ranmaru. So, what do you think about winning? Oh, wait, like what Maple said? Oh, remember Maple said about the idea of, like, us two winning. Oh, I think that's what he's saying. Oh, man, Ranmaru. Maple did tell us right, yeah. Winning. What does he mean? Betraying everyone and... Don't get such strange ideas, Ranmaru. I want us all to escape together. Yeah, of course. We'll all escape together. Man, this, like, it's again, like, holy hell. Like, gee, like, the writing is so good. It's so good. These characters aren't perfect. They're not thinking about things perfectly all the time. Humans will think this way. But is that really going to be possible? Ranmaru, look, when I'm with you, Sarah, I feel more and more like I want to live. Oh, Ranmaru. Oh, Ranmaru. The more serious I get, the more I'm afraid I am to die. So he's, oh my, this is Ranmaru. Like, it's in a way, it's very dark, but it's also very, it's in a way, it's like very, like, hopelessly kind of like darkly, like, beautiful in a way. The idea of like when I'm around you, I feel more alive. I don't want us to die. I want us to, in a very tragic, like, almost like can't think of this way kind of thing. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like, weirdly like darkly poetic, but like you can't think that way, right? We can't think of the idea of letting everyone else die. We can't. Like, I understand from the and that's why I hope it makes sense. I'm not saying like, oh my god, I like that's so lovely that you would say this, that we could get rid of everyone else and we could survive together. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like there is like an emotion to it where it's like he is feeling such a way about Sarah that he's like, I don't want you to die and I want us to live. It's a very, again, as I said, very real human thing to feel. It's a fear mixed with the idea of like a happiness because he feels more alive around Sarah. And then there's a fear of losing Sarah and losing himself. He doesn't want to lose this feeling. Again, we have to look at it from every aspect. It's dark as heck. It's so dark. Right? We don't think this way. We can't think this way. But again, it's like such a normal thing and such a realistic thing that they have characters, again, imperfect characters, suggesting the idea of everyone else dying and us surviving. Because again, in his mind, again, as I said, it's a happiness and a darkness and a fear all mixed in between. The happiness of being around her, the darkness of the thought that this could even happen, and the fear that that Sarah could die and that we could die. Seeing Kurumada, I realized, oh wow, that does make sense. That makes perfect sense. The idea of seeing Kurumada. I don't want to die now. He wants to live. That's the same for us all, for all of us. Which is why you have to win, right? He's really trying to hammer this home. If I want to get out of this alive, all I have to do is take you out, Sarah. But I can't do something like that. Interesting, because again, that's what they said as well. If he kills us, automatically he survives, right? He takes our place. On the other hand, I'm sure I could kill anyone else. Oh, Ranmaru, we can't think like this. Ranmaru, please. Listen, Sarah. Win for me. Ranmaru. Get a grip. We're all allies. We've overcome hardship together. Reiko, Guitar, they protected us even when they were hurt. Oh my god, and again, this is like, her at the top of her lungs here trying to reach out to Ranmaru, trying to grab Ranmaru from the darkness that clearly was consuming him. The metaphorical darkness. When Gin and Kana were taken by suspicion, they still believed in us and gave us courage. So never say something like that again. Sorry, it's okay. It's so, like Ranmaru, it is so, as I said, realistic. It's brutal. It's dark. It's horrible. You can't think this way. It's like, it's so many things rolled into one. No. She says I'm such a bitch. Don't, oh my god. Because now what's happening is the clarity of what he has said, right? The clarity of oh my god, I said this, right? Because in the moment, again, as I said, a love, a fear, there's a happiness, all these things mixed in between. All he's thinking of in that moment is like, I don't want to be away from Sarah anymore, and I couldn't hurt her, and I want us both to get out of here. This feeling of euphoria when he's around her. I feel alive when I'm around you. Right? That's all he was thinking of. And as I said, in this traumatic situation, this horrible situation where you just saw Kurumada get ripped apart, where you saw the possibility of any one of us like dying. You saw like Guitar nearly die here as well, or get stabbed at the very least. These emotions are not you. They are part of you and inside of you, but they're not all of you, Ranmaru. They're not. They're just not. Please don't call yourself that. I have no right to be... Don't... No. We're not doing that. I have no right to be a friend. Do not say that. We're not saying that. Oh, Sarah, the more you want to live, the more real death feels. Yes. Oh my god, this image. I'm sure Ranmaru had given up at first. It was me who gave him hope. Yeah, once again. Another character we gave hope to. But I can't make a choice like that. This is no time to be crying. It's honestly like legitimately perfect time to be crying, but I understand what you're saying. We'll all return together. I don't intend to abandon anyone. Ranmaru, that includes you. I love her saying this as well. Yeah, as I said, I hope it makes sense when I say, like, 'cause I know, like, some people might be like, wait, Calvin, like, there's a romanticism, there's a beauty in it as well. Of course there is, because again, we have to look at things from all facets, and like sitting here and being like there's not a like beautiful like poetic nature to someone being like, hey, let's be the only two that survive. Again, I'm not saying it's beautiful in terms of morals. We do not do that. I want to make that perfectly clear. But I'm saying in terms of like the feeling that is behind it, because again, it's not about the action itself. It's not about the action being beautiful. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Ron Morrow feels alive because of Sarah, which is what's leading him to say this horrible stuff. That's what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't make it sound like I'm saying like, oh my God, how lovely. He's saying he's going to kill everyone. I'm not saying that. I hope it makes perfectly clear here. I'm saying that the facets surrounding it are him saying that he has gotten to feel so alive and wants to live because of Sarah. And that is a beautiful thing. That's the beautiful aspect of it. But the darker aspect, as we said, is that the consequence is that he has these feelings of like, these darker feelings that have consumed him. What if we get rid of everybody else? Again, that's not a beautiful aspect. The beautiful aspect is like that, like in his thought process, he was like, if both of us survive, okay, that's great, right? But that means everyone else dies. And that's not beautiful, right? That's not beautiful whatsoever. And as I said, when I said like it's a happiness mixed with a fear, mixed with a happiness and fear are probably the two ones we could say is probably the best thing is here as well. He feels happier when he's around Sarah. This is a character who like had given up hope with the idea of them ever surviving, right? Has already seen their own death happen twice. They've seen a video of their own death happen. They meet this gal who is not only an inspiration to him, but also is someone who just like legitimately makes him feel like he is breathing. That makes him feel like everything's worthwhile and being alive is worthwhile. That happiness that he feels when he's around her then turns to the idea of fear. I do not want to be away. I do not want us to die. I could not kill Sarah, but maybe we could kill everyone else. Again, it's not a perfect way of thinking. I want to make that perfectly clear. But humans are not perfect, and they have human consciences inside them. They're like humans. Humans are not perfect, and I'm not going to sit here and judge Ron Morrow. Obviously, like if he took an action that I killed her, of course you judge him then. But to judge people in this place in the mindset of, a regular situation is unfair. It's totally unfair because all he's thinking now is, I give up hope. This girl has given me a new lease on life. What if we survive? Right? What if we do what Maple said? Maybe we could live. Right? Maybe we could survive and all these things in between. That's not a perfect way of thinking, but no character is perfect here. That's not a moral way of thinking, but no character is perfectly moral. This game, as I said before, is not trying to sit here and be like, aren't these characters perfect? Aren't they amazing? No, it's showing us like these characters, and like many a time it's uncomfortable to be like listening to them. It's uncomfortable to listen to what Ron Morrow said here. It's uncomfortable because we love these other characters. We couldn't let anything happen to Gin. We couldn't let anything happen to Katara. We couldn't let anything happen to Keiji, to Mai, to Anzu, to all these characters. We couldn't let anything happen to these characters, right? To Kana, all these characters. But again, as I'm saying, it's just great writing to have a very realistic portrayal of someone who like has fallen for the idea of being around someone who makes them feel alive again. It's very realistic. And even in that moment there when Sarah snapped him out of it, it's a situation of like, oh God, like, what was I saying? What was I saying? Because when you have a high anxiety or a high fear or high emotions, going through trauma, all these different things, right? And you then are faced with two things. You see Kurumada get ripped apart, right? And you go, that could be me. And it's a big possibility that could be me. You then hear Sarah utter the words, I could just like end my life and let everyone else survive. So two things go through your head. My mortality of what could happen with Kurumada, what happened that could happen to me, and Sarah's mortality. She could die too. The person I care about and myself. And all of a sudden that fear sets in and your brain goes into protection mode. What if we did this? And then you realize afterwards, what did I just say? It's horrible. It's, again, I hope it makes it clear what I said. Like, there's a beautiful aspect to his words It's not it stops at the point of like, let's hurt everyone else. Right? I want to make that perfectly clear. I think you guys will get what I'm saying. It's like the idea of like, hey, I want us to survive and I don't want you to die, and I'll do anything to make sure we survive. You make you feel alive. That's lovely. But once it gets to the whole point of like, I think everyone should die for us, then of course that's not beautiful. But that's the whole point. It's not supposed to be beautiful. Oh no. I thought you'd finally wake up, Miss Sarah. But alas, you're still a dependable leader. Midori saw all that? Wait, what do you want from us then? Boy, the chaos of one little piece of paper can cause. What's so funny? I mean, everyone signed this form to have them participate in the death game, see? So of course I wouldn't accept put an end to it. Oh, that's what we want to do. Though for the record, I'd be fine in granting a wish that gave you an advantage. Why am I here? Midori, it's a good question. Like, if we didn't sign the consent form, how are we here? I never signed that consent form, and yet... The fact that you're here must be because... Oh, wait, what? So somebody's wish for us to be here? Oh, no. And if they have to follow through on the wishes... That means somebody definitely wished us to be here. That is brutal. That is brutal. Never. No. Let's mind that. Let's mind that. I think let's mind it. The whole thing of never mind it. Let's mind it. I really think it's a shame, Miss Sarah. I wanted you to wake up. We wanted me to wake up. What the hell is wrong with him? What does he even mean? Like, wanted me to wake up? To see the awakening of the ultimate... What are you talking? What is he talking about? What the hell is he talking about? Like, wait, didn't our dad say we had like a destiny of some kind? Is this related to that? What's that supposed to mean? So you don't even know? My miscalculations was having Joe take... Wait, what? So Joe wasn't supposed to take part? What? I was opposed from the beginning, you know. This silly balancing business. What balancing business? I can't see where you're going with this. Miss Sarah, what do you think those victory percentages you've been carrying around are for? Yes, those. Did you think we were placing bets? Gin's a dark horse, 100,000 yen, like that. What are they for? What are they for? What did they... He said something that the balancing... He talked about the idea of like Joe wasn't supposed to be here. The ultimate Sarah Chidoween. What? This death game... What? What? Must be a holy event? Everyone must be given a fair chance, a way to survive. What? In other words, the victory rates have to be equal, so that's what balancing? Well, but how? Equal? Exactly. In short, you were assigned... So the weak were given help? What? Balancing the victory percentages? Wait. Is that why some were given companions? Like, is that why Kugi was here? Is that why, Joe was brought here? So for that stupid reason, you'll pay for this? What the hell? You made us kill each other for your selfish project, and based on nonsense of winning percentages, you brought in people completely completely unrelated people. So Joe was brought in for us as like a... Wait, so Joe for us was a percentage that was supposed to bring our percentage down? Because maybe we cared about him so much, he cared about us in some ways? Why? Even without doing that, I didn't have the highest percentage. Why? Like, I think it's to bring us down, maybe. That's why it's curious. You see, Miss Sarah, when you have an ally, that's what I was thinking. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that in their mind, they probably thought because we loved Joe so much that we would be a lot weaker. What? I remember it. In the world without Joe, you were a truly terrifying sight to be. What? A stronger survival instinct than anyone else. A heart that would never. Wait, so this is the vision that Shin had. Was this one of the extrapolations that they did? Possibly. So when Joe wasn't a part of the extrapolations, then Sarah was more like vicious, maybe? Such resourcefulness, strategy, and cunning used any means to survive. And in the most terrifying part. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It must be like these extrapolations then. Like, remember they did the kind of like experimentations to find out who would win? They must have found that without Joe, Sarah was like freaking, you know, lack of a better term, killing this game. After killing, you shed tears and tug at everyone's hearts. That's so brutal, man. And is that way, like, as well, like, if they showed this to Shin, that means he would have seen, like, the whole thing of Sarah in, like, a wolf in sheep's clothing, like, makes so much sense. Such tremendous charisma, even though you had zero intent to have self-sacrifice. That's so crazy. As the AI test continued, yeah, that's what I was thinking, AI test, yeah. Jesus Christ, man. So they, like, literally saw... I don't know. They literally like saw Sarah be like a brutal game master here. But then like it's hard to even believe that because like Sarah's so caring. But maybe that's like in their mind Joe balanced her out. If I could have met you like that. So he wants her to awaken like that, the perfect Sarah? Oh my god, look at this. Don't look at me. But hey, I have to obey the will of the organization. I'm an adult after all. Well, Miss Sarah, did Joe do a good job dragging you down? It can't be. Are you saying Joe was killed for a reason? Wait, so... They're saying that they killed Joe for... But wasn't he voted? Because this would imply that they killed Joe to... No. What she's saying is Joe was the reason Joe died. Joe did die. And she's saying that now, like, technically the reason he was even brought into the game was to be a handicap to Sarah. Oh my god. Oh my god, you think you can win? You're not getting away with it. This is what he did, but this is what he wants, right? Oh my god, of course you would go mad in this moment. Of course you would. This isn't the kind of method I want from you. Give them back, Joe. Oh my god, I'm now understanding the reason behind the people that died. Especially like Joe and like Akugi as well, right? By everyone you mean Now and Kai even as one. You mentioned Kai too. Because he wasn't on the list either. They like Now as well wasn't on the list either too, right? They were brought in as literally to change as balancing members. And to her that's like, wait, so that means all the balancing members died. Every one of them. Well, apart from Shin, right, is the only one who wasn't a balancing member. That's so... Of course she'd be so angry about this. Of course she would be. The people whose names are on the list, they have no connection to anything, right? And you use them like toys for the most worthless reasons. We're all just living regular lives. Giving her all to live normally. Oh dear, you really have gotten too kind. He's upset by this. Jesus Christ, what is happening? Oh! That's not you. That's so snow. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. That's not you, he said. You're far more deceptive and despicable. Please, please, please. And demonic and bewitching and supreme. Please, please get that off the screen. That is so scary. The edges of the mouth, like the ridges. Go back to the way you were then, Sarah. Oh my god. Ranmaru! You were still here? Did you really intend to kill me just now? Well, that's strange. If you did that, you'd die, remember? I don't think Ranmaru cared in that moment. You're human garbage. I'll kill you, bastard. Tell him, Ranmaru. Oh my god. Are you going to drag down Miss Sarah too? What do you mean? What? 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 No, 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 no. It's the tag finale. You gotta touch someone or you're gonna die. I'll have you disappear too, Ranmaru, for Miss Sarah's. He's trying to get rid of anybody who has given us like a close affection. He now believes that if Ranmaru is not here, then Sarah will become this more vicious person. And give me a good show, won't you, Miss Sarah? This is brutal. What the hell? What do we do with this then? Let's go after him, Sarah. We need to find someone to give him the collar. This is so crazy. We need someone to find him to use the collar. We need to pass on the light to Midori. Joe, he was brought along with me. The worst. It happened for the worst reason. Ranmaru? Oh, shoot, I have to go after him. Guys, we're gonna save the game here and come back and, well, I know it's a cliffhanger, but like I think we need to be prepared for what's about to happen in the next parts here. I think this is whatever's going to happen next seems like it's going to be either something that's like the most like reaffirming, beautiful moment, or in this game it could be terrifying and anything in between. It really could be. Holy hell. That is, the last part of this was so much to take in. Like, just legitimately one of the most insane and... like, it didn't feel real, the last part of this this episode. It didn't feel real at all. Because what we witnessed here was that, from the perception of maybe the people that run this game, or Midori, in every extrapolation they did, when they ran all the stuff that happened in this game, Sarah was a cold-blooded killer who used people's emotions. And that's what we're taking their word for it. Right? But that means if Shin was shown this stuff, then that would make sense why he would think like, okay, look what she's able to do here. So I'm guessing he saw that image, because it's the same image that Shin saw as well. And Midori also believes that Joe was a factor in making her softer. Which, here's the thing, right? There is things like that in real life where like someone could be a bit aggressive, but when they're with someone else, it makes them feel calmer, right? But it's so hard to believe that Sarah would be like this when she's one of the most supportive and beautiful people in the world. Like, her soul is so gorgeous. You know what I mean? Her aura is magnificently beautiful. Like, she has such a, like, as I said, a gorgeous soul. She really does. So to have like this thing where like she would act like this, it's confusing, right? It boggles the mind that she would be manipulative or horrible. But then their extrapolations, that's what they found. And he said this idea of a perfect Sarah Shadoween. In his mind, then, is the perfect Sarah Shadoween someone who is ruthless and cold-blooded, and that's what he wants to bring out in this way. Because what they said happened here as well is that they brought in different people as ways of like destroying chance or balancing out the chances more of these characters in order to make the game more interesting so everyone has a completely fair shot. So I'm wondering how, if we look back, we probably could look at the balancing stuff, right? It was now a balance for Shin. Or was Shin being shown the truth of like all the percentages? Was that his balancing? The idea that if they show him this, then he can like maybe try and prevent it. He gets an advantage that way because he has a 0% chance. Was Gin's balancing the idea that like, I don't know, they knew he was going to be taken care of by Sarah or something? I don't know, like, because then like the idea then for, I don't know if we can look at it here, by the way, if we can look at it really quickly. Where is... There's Hanako as well, who was here in this game as well, by the way. Kana, Gin. Reiko. So, Kana's was 2.7%. Do you think that there's a chance that Kugi was brought in as a way to possibly balance it, but like it didn't work out that way? now was a balancing member. They were brought in as like almost like patches to a video game. They were like not even like the people that they cared about in this game. They didn't care about Joe or Now or Kuki. They didn't care about these characters, or Kai as well, by the way, right? So they were all brought in some ways to make this game more fair, so that it would be more. They maybe can get more information out of it. They can understand things better. But that means in Midori's eyes, bringing Joe in was the thing that made us softer. Which again, like, I'm not taking his word for it completely, because it's one of those things where I'm not going to just sit here and be like, oh, Sarah's actually evil if it's not, Joe's not here. But I do think that like Joe is the type of character that like, how do I say? Joe's the type of character that like, legitimately does take care of Sarah. Does not take care of, because she does take care of herself, but you know what I'm saying? Like, like when they're around each other, like they are like, you know, two best friends, two softies. So I can believe the idea that she would like be softer around Joe, or like, because everyone has those people in their lives that do like make them feel more relaxed and more centered, right? Of course. But I'm saying that we can't trust Midori completely with this stuff. But I do believe that this organization is evil enough to bring in people as like patches. Oh, we need to bring in some, because this is unfair. We need to bring them this stuff. We need to show Shin the truth of the percentages, because like we need to make it fair for him as well, you know? I totally believe they would do this, because again, they toy with people in this game. They mess with people in this game. And then we have as well, Ranmaru now has the collar lit up, and I do believe that he wants Ranmaru gone as well, because like he probably just saw the conversation that Sarah and Ranmaru had. And what's happening here is that Sarah is like, I feel like, you know, growing to care a lot about Ranmaru. Ranmaru's going to care about her too. And in probably Midori's eyes, that's another relationship as well, like the relationship with Joe, where it's like, I can't have this. They're making each other softer. They're making each other, I hate the word like, oh, softer, but it's like they make each other nicer. They make like it's like a completion thing, where it's like, oh, Ranmaru feels much better being around Sarah. Sarah is also like very much focused when she's with Ranmaru too. They get a lot of stuff done together. They're very good together. So I can totally believe Midori would be like, let's get rid of Ranmaru. Because if we get rid of Ranmaru, then we can finally see the ultimate version of what Sarah Chidowin is. And it also worries me that our dad talked about our destiny. You know what I mean? What did he mean by that as well? There's something there as well when it comes to the idea of the destiny aspect too. It's so brutal and disgusting. And that's the whole point, right? It's supposed to be disgusting. It's supposed to be like, this is horrible that we're thinking about this, that we even have this as a thing. It's supposed to make our skin crawl. You know? The idea that they would cast aside life like this and not care about people's lives and like treat people's lives as if they're just basically, as I said, a patch for a video game. And you can understand there with Sarah when she got so angry, because what she's thinking in that moment is like, these characters who like I love dearly, like Joe, Now. And yes, she didn't know Kai, but he's still someone who died and made an ultimate like starting point for a rebellion against this whole system. And he died as, again, a patch note. And I know it's a horrible, I hope you guys don't see it as me talking down about it. I'm saying like how the company sees it. I would never see these people like that, because I cared about them too. Obviously, like, we didn't get to know Kai, but like post Kai and learning about Kai, you're like, oh my god, he had like a very like, it wasn't his fault whatsoever. We cared about Joe. We cared about Shin in the end, and we cared about Now. But it's just horrific the way they saw them. I'm not going to harp on it too much just because we like already talked about it at great length, but the whole thing with Sarah as well, Ranmaru, I think was a fantastic scene. Him, you know, wanting to like maybe like end other people's lives. Again, as I said, like, you know, I talked about it so much already, but it, like in summary of everything, my belief always is the same thing, which is like humans aren't perfect. And in everyday life, in a random situation, sorry if I smack my lips there, that's so rude. In everyday life, right, if I was if I was sitting down with someone and they said to me, what if we just kill everyone else? I am making sure they get help. Right? I am finding, I'm convincing them to go into psychiatric help. If I can't do that, I am notifying like people about what's happening right away. Right? Of course you would. Right? If someone said that to you. right? But again, we can't judge people by real world standards with the words that they say in a game like this, because that's not how life works in this game. I said the same thing in Last Defense Academy. I say the same thing in Danganronpa, right? I also say similar stuff when we play Phoenix Wright sometimes, because you'll have a character sometimes in Phoenix Wright who like does something that is like not morally good, but then you find out that they were under something like in a situation that is not great whatsoever. Like, you know, they were like, I always talk, I don't want to spoil anything, but I always talk about that one character, and I always remember like people like, you know, give me a bit of pushback by it, but I stand by it. There was a character who was like a teenager who had gone through so much mental duress in their lives, and they became like this character as they were older who was much more evil and horrible. And I remember all I said was just like, man, like, if only she had people looking out for her in life, you know what I mean? You know, like maybe things would have changed. And like, I remember just people being like, of course you side with. And it's like, no, like it's not about like thinking like what Ranmaru said is like the most morally justified thing ever. It's about understanding that in different situations, people like do things that are not good and say things that are not good. And the sooner we can acknowledge that, the sooner we can actually discuss these things in a way. Because again, like how I would hate to play this game sitting here being like, Ranmaru, oh my god, I'm done with him. Oh my god, it's so weird. What the hell? I'm done. You know? That's like, that would be such an awful way to play this game. Because I feel like at this point you'd be done with every character, right? Keiji said some stuff that's weird, right? Technically, Kana, quote unquote, betrayed us twice, right? We could still hate, not that I hate him, we could still dislike the feeling that Shin gives us, right? Remember, he was like, you know, being lying about us and being manipulative, and we felt like he was like almost like, we felt like at the time like he might have been evil at the start. Remember, we thought he was like this evil foil, this gasoline on a fire, right? We could still hate Kai, you know what I mean? All these things, because if you look at through like a basic, I'm not trying to be like, oh, we look at it from a different perspective. Oh yes, we like analyze everything, but I'm saying that like, if I just sat here and said like, oh, that's weird what Ranmaru said, I'm done with him. It leaves on the floor so much discussion about like why his character is so interesting. A dummy who gave up on life, found a person that made him feel alive, wanted so desperately to keep that intact, so he was willing to kill everyone else in order to make that feeling stay intact, and then realize in the end that what he was saying was absolutely awful. Isn't that way more interesting of a character to think of them from a more sympathetic approach of being like, oh my god, the fact that they like were put through so much trauma, they were killed, made into a dummy. They realized they were a dummy. They saw Kurumada get ripped apart. They realized their mortality. They had such a good time hanging around with Sarah, and they cared about Sarah so much that it made them feel like they were happier and alive, and they wanted to live for the first time ever. They then made the suggestion under the feelings of, again, I guarantee you, I don't know what anyone could be feeling in that moment, just because we don't know what anyone's feeling, right? Because none of us have felt that way where we're like, hey, what if we get rid of everyone? You know, no one feels like that, right? But it's one of those situations where, like, in this moment here, like, I can only guess that he was probably thinking in his head, like, tunnel vision, right? I have to make sure, no matter what, that me and Sarah survive. Because, like, this feeling I have when I'm around her is incredible. I feel like I want to live for the first time ever. I don't want anything to happen to her. To me, that's way more interesting to look at it from that perspective than be like, Ranmaru said he's just to kill everybody, get rid of him, you know? It's like... to me, it ignores why stories to me, like, again, it's gonna sound pretentious, I don't give a damn, why stories to me are so interesting and wonderful and beautiful, especially about humans, and in this case, human consciousness. We are not perfect, we are flawed, we are sometimes, I'm not saying we as in me and you, I'm saying that in terms of all of mankind, people are dark. Sometimes people are horrid, and sometimes people have to be judged. As I said, if Ranmaru like ran right now and killed everybody, of course you're gonna be like, you are evil. Like, what the hell are you doing, right? But in this case, it's more of a situation of no. The suggestion wasn't, in my view, it wasn't just like, and again, this could change. Again, in this game, anything could happen. Like, all of a sudden, Ranmaru next episode could decide to do that, right? To me, though, it's one of those situations where, like, this isn't him saying, I want everyone dead. It's, I want Sarah to live. Right? And that's the important distinction. Now, when it comes to actions, as we said, and it comes to like, you know, if he continued this intention, that's different, right? If he kept going, no, we have to do it. At that point, then you go, Ranmaru, you have to stop. And all of a sudden, then you get weird around him. Then you warn people, you tell people, right? Of course, Jesus Christ, of course. But I'm saying that in this moment, you have to look it through the lens of he wanted Sarah and him to live, not this idea of like, oh, I want to kill her. And again, we wouldn't let him do that. Like, we wouldn't let him if you know, he would die before he even like looked the wrong way at Gin in my eyes. You know what I mean? He would. But I hope you get what I'm saying. It's like, the story is way more interesting if you look at Ron Mara from an approach of like, oh my God, he is so complicated and his emotions are so complicated and where he's coming from in terms of like his now care for Sarah and his care for living and his want to live and his feeling of fear of mortality and the happiness he feels around Sarah, all those things in between is way more interesting than boiling it down to, I'm nervous about him. I'm not gonna talk to him anymore, or he's weird, or you know what, in those ways too. Yeah, I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. It's way more interesting that way to me. It's way more interesting. We also had the stuff with Reiko as well. I think it's kind of the same along the lines of the conversation we had last time, even though, like, again, Reiko as a character is obviously like, trying to hide like these feelings in a lot of ways too. But like, it's definitely a situation where Reiko, where she is feeling like, you know, icky, horrible, like her skin's crawling. That's the way I would feel in this situation. The fact that, again, these permission slips are going on everywhere and these permission slips have been signed by everyone. And that's going to lead into another topic as well that we can talk about too, where like all these permission slips are being signed to get people inside the game. You know what I mean? Reiko signed the permission slip through under duress and manipulation. Gin did too. So did Kana. We assumed so did Kitaru and everyone else, right? But that's the whole interesting part about it, is that we never signed one of those things. We never signed anything. And while we can talk about the idea of, like, as I said before we go any further, talking about that whole permission slip thing, Reiko obviously like was in a position where like she wanted to believe her brother was, you know, innocent. And again, what we found here was this emotion of like, she didn't get to reconcile when in the end all these different emotions that would make her feel like, oh my God, I feel horrible. But the main purpose of the whole thing we have to make everyone understand, same with Kana, same again, is that this was all manipulation and it was all Hiyori and Asanaru preying on, as we said, Kana's happiness, Gin's desire to see his mother happy and his own anxieties about his autism. And then also at the same time too, we have then Reiko's devastation over the idea of her brother possibly going away to prison forever. All these things were 110% used as a way to get them to sign these things. But we never signed one, which means that we personally are not a part of this game, or weren't supposed to be. But he still wants us to sign this, which means that for some reason that like we had to be here, even though we didn't have to sign a permission for him to be here. Which means as well, right, that in Midori's eyes, someone wished for us to be here. Which that's scary then, because that means that someone who signed a consent form, which could be anyone here, right? Or maybe someone who came before us as well. Someone signed a consent form, and their wish was, I want Sarah to be in this death game. Now, hearing this would absolutely just make my stomach churn. What do you mean someone wished so I would be in a freaking death game? We don't know who that is or what that is, but Jesus Christ, that's another really scary turn in this too, isn't it? It's a really scary turn. Guys, if you want to see these videos earlier, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon. That's for €1. Or if whatever is in your currency as well. That's the lowest tier. And if you want to see your name go by in the text credits, which is the €10 tier, that's for the entire month as well, that you pay as well. And it's obviously then every single video you get that as well. And if you want to hear your name read out at the end of every single video as well, that is a shout out, a verbal shout out. That is the highest tier, which is the €15 tier. And that is my YouTube members and Patreon, the highest tier, €15. Yes. And I want to say thank you to patrons at the highest tier first, that being Typharo2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Liam, Heike Kasparian, Neo Shaurite, Leah 200, Malcolm Kunde, Axler21, and at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco and Lucinagi. See you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.